I finally watched Longlegs. You know, I didn't get to see it last year, so I let it build a little hype, and I finally fucking watched it. The most I could say, the least I could say, whatever. I was let down personally. I was let down. You know, I thought the movie was going to be so good. The hype around it, all the trailers that they did, the character looked so fucking scary on the trailer. Nicolas Cage, I'm a Nicolas Cage fan. All the boxes are getting checked. All the boxes are getting checked. You know, it's looking like the next Silence of the Lambs. It was looking that good. That Nicolas Cage role looked so good. The acting in the trailer looked so good, and I was a little let down, and that's just me personally. But without further ado, let's get into this juice test and see how good this movie really is. All right, let's just get some things off my chest. The ending was shitty. I feel like it ended out of the blue. They could have extended the story longer. You know why I feel like it ended out of the blue though? Because I was expecting more from Nicolas Cage's character. The bad guy, I was expecting more screen time from her, and the ending to be a little bit more complex and more scary. To be honest, it's kind of bland, just like a gunshot to the head. The ending was trash. That's my first pet peeve with this movie. And my other one is Nicolas Cage's character didn't get that much screen time. I thought she's a scary ass character. If they could show her like kidnapping someone, doing this, doing that, it would be a much more scary movie. And she barely got any screen time. Lots of it was old flashbacks. I wished I got to see some real action from her. My last pet peeve of the movie is Lee Harker, the main fucking character. Yes, I know. She acted like a bratty bitch the whole movie. Remember that scene when she showed up to her boss's house and like acted like a total creep? Like, come on, at least show some respect. Show some respect to the daughter. Show some respect to the mom. Like, act like a somewhat decent person. And a lot of the movie, her acting just kind of annoyed me a little bit. Like her whole facial expression, just her in general, the character. Nothing against the actor Malika Monroe, but like I don't know, the character was kind of pissed me off a little bit. Now, and I also do really like the detective in the Silence of the Lambs. I really liked her, but this one didn't have that spice. They gave her a special like power of something. I don't like the character, so that was my last pet peeve. And I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and if you fuck with me, you like my personality, you like my content, I appreciate it. And let's move on to the next one. I wish they would have made it a little bit better. That's such a good character. That's such a bad guy, and they could have made the storyline a little bit better, a little bit more scary, stuff like that. Because, like I said, the ending was complete trash. There had to be a bigger plot than killing her mom, finding out it was her mom. Like, were we actually going to see Long Legs? Something happened with Long Legs. The execution, I guess, the execution was okay, but the storyline and plot was kind of mid. So storyline and plot, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. Like seriously, leave it down in the comments if you disagree with me. I didn't think the storyline and plot were that good. Overall, cinematography was okay. They did a good job conveying suspense. They did a job with the shots. A lot of still camera, just like moving around, moving around, moving around. But like overall, the cinematography wasn't that bad. They did the close-up shots. Overall, kind of a bland sense of cinematography, but it works. A bland sense does work. It gets the job done. Well, cinematography, I guess we can give it a 7.25. 7.25 is good for the cinematography, nothing more, nothing less. And that is actually why I am going to deduct it down to a 6.9. Not for the memes, because it generally deserves a 6.9. The cinematography is okay. Okay, you've already heard some of what I had to say. But I will give this section a little boost because Nicolas Cage and Nicolas Cage's character did so well. They did so well. More screen time, of course, I love that. More screen time would be nice. But Nicolas Cage, he did so well with the character. And I know Nicolas Cage was going all out on set because we know how Nicolas Cage is. He's a wild ass motherfucker. So I could have imagined what he was doing on set. But overall, he did okay, and of course, the rest of the cast did mid. I wish Lee Harker's character was a little bit more put together and a little bit better. But other than that, the acting, everything else brings down Nicolas Cage's performance. But if I could do it separate, it would be 10 and then like a 4. But since you got to mix it, acting and characters were around a 7. It was around a 7. Perfect. The sweet spot, canceling it out. So 7. Enjoyment. Okay. Because of all the hype, I didn't watch it last year. I was going into this movie, I was fucking hyped as fuck. Like, I get to see Long Legs. What the hell? Long Legs is on. I haven't seen this movie yet. This movie's gonna be scary as fuck. Whole movie, like, I'm on my toes. I'm thrilled. I know this is gonna be straight scary ass banger. The whole movie, I'm like that. It ends out of the blue with a gunshot to the mom's head. I've already talked about the ending before, but I'm gonna talk about it again. That ending fucking ruined it because I was enjoying the movie because I couldn't wait until I got to see Long Legs on screen more and see the scary ass movie. And then it just ends out of the blue. So enjoyment was at a 5.5 after watching the movie because the ending was so bad. The ending was so bad. The reason why I'm giving a 5.5 at least is like I know I could get through watching it. I could get through, but enjoying it now, looking back at it, no, I didn't have an enjoyable experience. I'm sorry. I don't want to be that guy. It still hurts because I was looking forward to watching it all year, basically, ever since it got dropped. But the simple answer to this is no. And if you haven't seen the movie, you trust me, you're not missing out. You are not missing out. You do not gotta, oh, I gotta turn on Long Legs. No, don't rush it. When it pops up, nothing else is on. You can watch Long Legs, but don't rush it. You're not missing out if you're not watching Long Legs yet. And do I regret watching Long Legs? Yes. No. Maybe so. But rewatchable is no. Hell no. Okay. Taking everything into account, legit everything, I could give a pretty accurate juice test rating for this. You know, Rotten Tomatoes had it like an 80% range. I think IMDb had it to the 6 to 7 range. And I can confidently say this movie is a 6.75 out of 10. I can very, very confidently say this movie is 6.75 out of 10 because of literally everything. The ending, of course, that's a main reason. Not enough screen time for Nicolas Cage. That's another reason. There's so many reasons that go into it. So, yeah, it's a 6.75. It's not good. If you haven't seen it, I'll say it again. You're not missing out. Maybe we can expect a sequel. Maybe that explains why the ending's so bad, but and because it's just leading to the next one. But yeah, I'd be happy if there was a sequel. The final rating 6.75 out of 10, and I love you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.